All right. Knowing that my freshman year changed my life. During that year, due to many dislocations in my left shoulder, once during soccer, once during baseball, once during football, and the final one during lifting, which sent me to the ER because we couldn't get it back in place. Due to all these, I had to get shoulder surgery in my left shoulder to repair my labrum, which required 3 screws and a very long rehab and physical therapy process that was 6 months. Due to this recovery time, I was not able to participate in baseball that coming summer or football that coming fall, which was very hard for me because that's something I'd been doing for my whole life, pretty much with some of my best friends. Since I had that whole summer off, one thing I couldn't do was work, and another thing I couldn't do was play backyard sports, which is one of the things that my friends and I did the most. Because of not being able to do these, one thing I decided to push myself in is physical therapy. Physical therapy first started 4 days a week to strengthen my shoulder, try to be back, and eventually it reduced down to 3, and then 2, and then 1. Just 1 day per week. And eventually not at all. I did this the entire summer. And finally, after summer was over, school started to approach. When school starts to approach, that also means football season starts to come. I figured that football would be the hardest part of the whole thing because I would have to be in the stands just watching everyone out there. However, I had one goal in mind, and that was to start during basketball season. And the start date for basketball is November 13th, so I wanted to be 100% by then. On November 13th, I had a meeting with my doctor, and this was to clear me, and my physical therapist had to clear me as well to be able to go, and they said that I was 100% and that I was able to play basketball that year. I went the entire basketball season without getting hurt again, and my left shoulder was completely fine, so I was able to play the whole year. Since I had no further injuries in my left shoulder that year, I decided that I would try to play football the following fall, and that the entire off season I would work very hard and just try to get my shoulder as strong as it was before, so I could perform at a high level and try to earn a starting spot. That was my next goal. In the summer before my junior year, I attended practices and camps, and I just played really well. And finally, after the very first scrimmage that we had for the football team, I earned a starting spot. My starting spot was fantastic. It felt fantastic, and that was something that I never thought would be able to bring. I never thought anything else would really bring me down that year for football. However, once the game started, it got more intense, and I ended up hurting my shoulder again. However, it wasn't as intense this time. It was just to the point where I think I sat one game, and I had to ice after pretty much every single game just to get it better. During the football season, I was very reliant on my right shoulder, though, and that caused me to have problems with my right shoulder as well, and that was something that was not good for me. When football finally ended, I sat down and thought about what I wanted to do later in life, and I figured I want to be able to throw a ball when I'm older. I want to be able to grab stuff off the top shelf and just things like that, so it would be much easier if I didn't play football my senior year. Another exciting factor that led me to make that decision was I didn't want to play football in college. I wanted to focus mostly on my studies, and with football, that's something I wouldn't be able to do. So then, like I said, I decided football might not be the best idea for me to play my senior year. Because of this, I decided to hang up my jersey and call it quits on football, focus on my studies and working, and try to become more ready for college. And still on Friday nights, I would go out to the games and watch and support my friends. This was a very hard decision for me, and it changed my life forever, and that is how.
doing?